Namaste, beloveds. This is Mother with Wisdom, and this is the second portion of the video. I've not named them yet, but you'll see the titles. But I'm just going to jump right into it. This being the second one, you need to watch the first one to understand the spiritual part that came through me. This is the spiritual part that is coming through the cards. That'll give you a little bit more direction, a little bit more um, probably focused attention than my waves of woo up and down, up and down. So here we go, and I'll try to hold me to a minimum in this. I'm going to start out with let me okay. This particular reading is based upon a April 24th, 22 Valerie Ames Celtic Cross tarot reading, and my question was unspoken. So this was whatever was Spirit wanted to come through for me outside of my own knowing. This was direct input into the situation that I was looking at. The situation that I was looking into was we had my son graduated from an IT college, and my daughter flew in from California. His graduation was Saturday. She flew in Thursday. His girlfriend, my son's girlfriend, surprised me by flying my daughter from California here to be at the graduation. We had such a wonderful time, family in and out, so many different restaurants visiting. My daughter and my son and his girlfriend, they, did their young 30s thing and hung out at clubs and all of that around here and everything, and got into, were able to observe everything that was going like, ugh, we don't want that. That's, I don't even know what that energy was. And that was a waste of time and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you start getting that as you get older. And so just different things. And then we got to um, the portion where Sunday night, where my daughter was going to spend the night with me. And this would be the time just her and I by ourselves since the whole time that she'd been here. Well, when she got here, she, was still tying a few things up with her friends and everything before she could sit and be with me. And I was okay with it. I was monkeying trying to get this phone together. And a couple hours passed by. I didn't say anything. It wasn't a big thing. My son brought over the blow up mattress bed for her and all that good stuff. And we're starting to watch Navalny on CNN. And we're just getting maybe about 30 minutes in. And I get a phone call from someone who's like a daughter to me. And she's in crisis. And so I tell my daughter, I've got to take this call. And I go in my bedroom and close the door. I don't come out until a couple of hours later. So according to her timing, I was not aware of time at that time. But according to her, I stayed in there about 2 hours. And her reaction was anger. And it was coming off of her in waves. I could feel the heat. I even took a step back and told her, why are you so angry? Because it was that intense. And I came here to see you and be with you, and I could have been doing something else with my time and blah, 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 blah. And you took that call and you knew I was here. This was a crisis situation. You are not in crisis. I'm going to come out of that room and I'm going to spend time with you. What? And then it just got into this whole ordeal. And I'm like, whoa, I'm not doing it, not going there, not indulging. I've earned my peace. My peace of mind, it's been earned. Nobody gave it to me. And it didn't come free. And it wasn't cheap. It came with suffering, tears, heartbreak, blood and tears and sweat, baby, okay? From generations. And so my peace now, no, I don't give it away. I don't let it go for nothing. Because it is the most valuable asset that I have that keeps me grounded and rooted and connected in my truth and identity as spirit. That peace, that's the truth. I ain't got to explain it. It is what it is. And so I went back into my bedroom and she called her friends and she just left. And me being empathic and looking at our relationship as me being a young single mother and the things that I put her through, things that she observed, and just everything, and just everything. And I'm feeling all of this and I'm crying and I'm like, okay, mama, I need you to speak to me. And so this is what I was led to do. This is the information that came through to me. And so when I get this kind of information, I share it because we are mirrors, we are vessels, we are the images and the words and everything help others. They not only help me, they are not only for me. And so this is the reading that was born. This is the energy. This is the energetic co-creation. This is that baby from me and my daughter going through that experience. And she did come back the next day and apologize and said, I overreacted, mama. I'm sorry. And we hugged and kissed and she got on the plane and everything was everything. And so I just want you to understand these are the energies that are going around right now. But let me get into this. That's the other video, beloveds. Winter, north, night, spring, east, dawn, summer, south, noon, fall, west, sunset. Welcome energies of earth, air, fire, and water. Let us create a life of beauty, reverence, and wonder. With each season, let us rejoice. Through every phase of sun and moon, let us be in harmony. In every direction shall we offer our love. Let the reading begin. And this is just the card that comes with this deck. It is an introduction. This is the first deck that I used to allow spirit to speak to me in the way that it does. And this is the Medicine Woman book, Carol Bridges, and it was suggested to me by a shaman. So I'm just going to get into it, beloveds. Before I get into the Celtic cross and the cards that were pulled, I want to fully communicate to you the Medicine Woman Inner Guidebook, a woman's guide to her unique powers using the Medicine Woman Tarot deck by Carol Bridges. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you some of this wise woman's words because it's so much more articulate than mine. A word about making it up. The imagination has been much maligned. Its purpose has not been understood by many. You are starting the process of re-educating yourself as to its proper usage. There is nothing, absolutely nothing, that exists in what we call the real world that has not been produced through imagination. Imagination is the source of all ideas. It is something natural and continuous, like grass growing or water running. You can tap into it at any time. With this natural gift of imagination, we take the elements of the natural world and form them into new, very real things. Imagination precedes all manifestation. And again, I'm going to lead you back to the first video to understand why this is so impactful and powerful and spirit-led and so specific at this time. You might say, if you want a guide, you must make one up. But this doesn't acknowledge the mysterious power that gives you this ability to make things up. It also diminishes the role of the guide in activating and dwelling within your vision. It could be closer to the truth to say that you build a house, your body, and the guide. The power of God comes to live there. You are co-creators. You did not invent imagination. Without it, your life is dull and perhaps impossible. It is a gift to you, but you alone can use the gift. Your role is all important. It is only by your respect for your imagination and your developing it by proper usage as you would any muscle in your body or your intellect that you can share in the magical world it can provide for you. Do not be afraid to make things up. Without your conscious knowledge, you are making up the entire world you already live in. Indeed, others are helping you to create it, perhaps even taking more power in its creation than you are. You allow this. Thus, you can be ruled by the imaginations of others. Remember that demonic stuff I was talking about? That's the imagination of others. Or you can begin to accept responsibility for imagining a better world and thereby beginning its possibility for creation. Shields up. Your creative powers going forward. Manifesting, giving birth, conceiving, having sexual seminating and eggs ovulating and ideas and imagination giving birth to all these kind of babies and situations and cures and solutions instead of problems and expanding chaos. Use your imagination fully to reach what I call the higher realms. All this means is to go for the very best that you can dream. From there, God will take over, seeing how willing you are to use this powerful tool and do your part. The great spirit of all life will begin to offer you things beyond your imagining. You will hit points in your meditative journeys where some greater power will take over and provide information beyond your knowledge. You will have tapped the sources of inspiration and creativity, the well of wholeness and holiness that lies waiting still inside you. The well. How many times did the well and living waters come up in that first video. Before I knew I was going to do this, beloveds. Okay, that part is done. I want to read one more part before I get into the cards that were pulled. I will be happy forever. Nothing will hinder me. I walk with beauty before me. I walk with beauty behind me. I walk with beauty above me. I walk with beauty below me. I walk with beauty around me. My words will be beautiful. And that's from the Navajo Blessing Way. And baby, I'm going to tell you, what is beautiful to you? What is beautiful to me, this beauty I'm speaking of, is peace. Is peace. True peace. True peace is beautiful. Unconditional love is beautiful. That's what I'm speaking on. I'm not speaking on outer appearance. I'm speaking on something that cannot be measured or seen with the physical eyes. It can only be known with the spiritual heart. Being a channel of the divine, the four powers of creation are now freely flowing through you. You fully realize the purpose of each, and now it is for you but to allow them to fulfill that purpose through your own personal life. You know that each action you take, no matter how small, affects the entire world. At the same time, you know that the only choice you ever need to make is to go with that inner flow of harmony you have now learned to sense. You have the power of all directions at your command. You have taken ideas from inspiration, east, through planning, south, through maturity, west, and through the destruction of your creation into death, north. And beloveds, that first video was the Asiatic energies of my ancestral lineages, and that was the east, and that was inspiration. Deepness. I love the deepness. Letting them go and opening to the resurrection of energy as a fresh new idea emerges again from the east. A dancer must let go one step in order to move on to the next. A musician must release one note to find the next. Rhythm and harmony require constant shifts and balances. This ability to receive, integrate, and let go is what the tarot has been teaching you throughout the great mystery. Now you have but to dance your dance of life. You may stumble, fall, and pick yourself up to start again, but you cannot truly err if you trust in your basic being. You are universally connected. There is no way you can be lost forever. No matter how far you might veer from your perfect path, the events of life will bring you back over and over again until you reach that center point of power within yourself, until you reach ultimate confidence in your own thought, word, and deed. The strands of life continually pull you from all directions until you take full command of the reins of power within your being. Then you are not like a puppet on a string, but rather a dancer, pulling the strings gracefully as she sways with the winds of time. That portal, that octagon, that rabbit hole, that vortex, that wheel, baby, that circle, that womb. The four powers. The minor arcana, your four powers. The 22 major arcanas are cards depicting the great mystery of life and the roles we are asking to play on our road to understanding. let me preface this. Let me frame this up for you, beloveds. I didn't even count how many cards. 10. These 10 cards were, I selected the deck that I wanted to use on this app. The cards were spread. I selected the cards that I wanted to select for this Celtic cross spread, which each card has a specific meaning in the space that it is pulled. Okay? There are both major and minor arcana cards pulled. And so I'm explaining to you what is the powers in these cards that I'm getting ready to read to you, beyond the places and spaces and frames that they came out, were selected, and came in this cross of information. Okay? The 22 major arcana are cards depicting the great mystery of life and roles we are asked to play on our road to understanding it. These roles lead to full participation as a co-creator of life on earth. When I come to a major arcana, I'll let you know. A person may spend her entire adult life in one primary role. Let us say, for example, the emperor, command, learning to make command for the good of the whole. Yet, in any one lifetime, the energy of each other card is experienced, at least for short periods, many times over and over again. The major arcana involve you in the great mystery of life and teach long-term soul-level lessons. The minor arcana, the four powers cards, depict the lesser situations of life, the everyday struggles and pleasures that make life interesting. Each suit deals with one main aspect of your being, body, spirit, mind, and emotions, and a symbol for the expression or use of that aspect. Stones, pipes, arrows, bowls is given to remind you of the essence of each level. Stones remind you that your physical being is that an energy or spirit flows through your physical body. Arrows remind you that you must direct or aim your mind and thought power. Bowls help you to realize that you are a container of emotion, giving and receiving. Seasons and directions are also related to the different suits as shown on the chart. The minor arcana. The four powers. The cards progress from ace to exemplar to show the evolution of an idea to its mastery. There are 14 stages, cards, through which every idea can evolve if it is to be taken to its highest conclusion. So, beloveds, we're not going through the whole deck. The cards that were selected are certain stages of the idea in the evolution of self-mastery. So it's a random card picked to speak directly to a specific. It's just like me going like this and saying, okay, this is the page that's going to teach me something. Or flipping the coin and heads or tails and I'm going to do something. Not every idea we receive will we want to be able to take to mastery. And that goes back to that first video with learning to discipline ourselves so that we are not triggered and we are not impulsive in our actions, but that we are consciously aware of each past, present, and future multiverse that is in front of us, ahead of us, and that we act accordingly, knowing that what we do will affect each. We'll put a deposit, currency, charge, each. And the culmination of that is what we will reap and will give us our karma and what will nourish us and manifest in our growth as our reality. But it is helpful to realize when we do choose to move towards successful completion that these steps must be taken. Again, the number was 10. A tarot reading will show you where you are, 5 and 5. Woo! 5 was in that first video. This is 5 and 5. This is completion, okay? A tarot reading will show you where you are and thus what you must do next in order to move further toward your accomplishment. How to lay out the cards for a reading will be explained later. Before doing any readings, it is best to familiarize yourself with each card, perhaps taking one a day and meditating on the image it carries. This is also a way to glean the more subtle psychic energies of the card when you find it showing up in a reading. Beloveds, this is a way that Spirit is showing you to connect with the waves, your beta, theta, delta, your conscious, subconscious, and unconscious fields, magnetic fields, rays of spectrums and frequencies and energies. This is a way of you to reconnect your intuitive and instinctive self. All of this came up in the first video, beloved, as this is the second part. This is how to do it. And like I said, this is the deepening of what was presented in the first one. And to really get the full benefit, you need to watch both. This is also a way to glean the more subtle psychic energies of the cards when you find it showing up in a reading. For best results, always let the card image speak to you in an intuitive way rather than relying totally on the meaning given for the cards in this or any other book. The cards are meant to trigger the workings of your own psyche and are not in themselves the final word. As you come up with answers to the questions of your readings, you will begin to know yourself. This is the aim of the tarot. Each card guides you to an inner awakening of the answers hidden inside your own consciousness. So if somebody asks you, why are you getting a tarot reading? What is it about? That's the best answer you can give them. You'll begin to know yourself because each of the cards guides you to an inner awakening of the answers hidden inside your own conscious. Each card that is selected or comes up, it is spirit-led. It is spirit-led. And trust your instincts and your spirit. This is to do for you to do upon yourself, with yourself. This is not just for you to do with friends or others. This is to know yourself. This is medicine for yourself. This is what I had all those 20-something years ago to begin my healing journey. This is all of my knowledge was categorized and aligned and assembled and assimilated, filtered, fertilized, and finished through the knowledge within this book. But Carol Bridges says, don't just rely upon this book. Don't just rely upon these cards. Understand that this is a guide. This is spirit guiding you. So when I said I am spirit led, I allow what I have learned to guide me. I've learned to recognize and see and identify not only who I am, but what is in my space, what I have attracted to me to teach me and help manifest my reality. Now take some time to study the groups of cards, suits as a whole, see how they relate to each other. And beloveds, I already read to you what each of the, I'll do it here. Okay. First of all, you must realize that these 4 powers are ones you were born with and will have all your life. No one can take them from you, though sometimes they do try. The more you understand these 4 powers to be totally yours, the less anyone will be able even to attempt to steal them from you or manipulate them through you. These 4 energies are basic life forces. 4, and you are the 5th. These 4 energies are basic life forces. You experience them daily. See that you fully realize what they are. I am going to describe them with several different words. You may settle on the words or phrases that best remind you of their power within you. Again, I'm going to draw you back to that first video, the very first thing that came out of my mouth that flowed from me was about the words that were going to be used, and to pay attention to the words. And if you needed to rewind or go back over the words or listen to it again, because the words would speak to you differently. Stones, the power of earth on earth's body resources. Physicality, material things, foods, goods, your own body. From dust, earth, all things were made. If this ain't confirming, woo! From dust, earth, all things were made, and to dust, earth, they will return. Everything is made of earth's elements: wood, metal, air, water, and fire. Look at the first video, guys. Pipes, the power of sex energy, creativity, self-awareness, artistic expression, life force, kundalini, sex drive, sexual expression, spiritual expression, inspiration, excitement, illumination. Your spine is a channel, like a bamboo flute or hollow reed through which energy flows. The energy turns the wheels of your life and gives vitality to the events to which you need to respond. Sex and spirituality are intimately connected, and the lessons of the pipes help you understand how this is so. Woo! Conductors, creation, all of it. These readings, these 2 videos, blowing my mind. Just arrows, the power of mind, thoughts, concepts, attitudes, beliefs, philosophies of life, concentration, will, attention, contemplation, meditation, organizing and managing, positivity, discipline, wisdom. Whether or not you are consciously in control of your mind. Let me say that again. Matter of fact, let me get a drink of water and let that marinate for a minute, okay? Let that settle in. Water symbolizes conscious awareness. It's a female element. Whether or not you are consciously in control of your mind power, that mind power is masculine. You are always using it. You're always doing it. The mind needs to do it. Bowls, the power of time to devote to your heart's desire. All you have on earth is time. What you devote your time to is your choice. Your choice depends on many factors. But whatever you are spending your time doing, you can devote yourself to it. Devotion. Devoting yourself and committing yourself to unconditional love is devoting and committing yourself to God. Hear that, receive that, know that. And your being is your temple of worship. And you are perfecting that always. Always in a stage of perfecting that. Expanding your conscious awareness. Filling your temple with treasures. Your inner temple. Adorning it with beauty. Spiritual beauty. Gifts and jewels. Not just shiny bling bling things on the outside, you know. Nothing. Nothing can be lost and taken and stolen, burnt up, swept away in the water. Be nothing. But what's in here, baby, can't nobody take. That's what all of this is about. That's what this is, devotion. That's what worship is. That's what the journey of self-identification is. That's what, who am I? I am that. I am that which resides in this inner temple. I am that is adorned and that deserves to be adorned with all these jewels and all this spiritual wealth, because that is the only thing of true value. That is the truth. You can't adorn me with lies and falsehoods and imitations and think I'm going to be satisfied. I'm not. I'm going to always be cheating and looking for another master because I'm not satisfied. It's very deep, but it's also very simple. Bowls. I'm trying to hold this together, y'all, but it is so juicy. It is so juicy in so many ways. This divine feminine. April showers bring May flowers. It's the time of spring. I'm very sensitive, y'all. So the tee-hee-hee-ing and the everything is what it is. I'm grounding and rooting. Okay. Letting go of the I. You hear that? I. The mind is trying to get itself in this video. But I, me, I. No, take that out. Take that out. Take that out. It ain't about you. And get out mine. This is about spirit. Spirit. This is spirit's video, not Valerie's I. See how that the mind always want to throw itself on center stage and get the limelight. Ooh, spotlight. It's deep. It's deep, baby. It's deep. It's so deep. It is so deep. But it is also so very simple. These basic building blocks, what you learn in elementary school. And it's fascinating to watch it unfold. Watch it unfold. Watch me unfold. There me is again. Oh, Lordy, let me calm it down. Okay. Bowls. This is going to be very powerful. That's why I keep deflecting or going away from it, because there's a deeper meaning to bowls. There's a deeper meaning to bowls. Bowls is a female receptacle, you know. So, like I said, there's this energy that is just bubbling and gushing forth in me to so, like the mind. Okay. Detaching from that energy, because that energy is what? Distracting as all hell. Impulsive as all hell. Okay. Everything that is flowing right now is for the benefit to see. The waves, the flow, the influx, and the what? Outflow? I don't know what you call it. Okay. Bowls. The power of time to devote to your heart's desire. All you have on earth is time. What you devote your time to is your choice. Your choice depends on many factors, but whatever you are spending your time doing, you can devote yourself to it. You can, in other words, be devoted. You can love in and through each moment. You can love in and through each moment. Devotion is love through time. Time is your receptacle for your love. Sounds like a yoni. Thus, you may describe this power with the word you most need to focus on: love, devotion, time, commitment, relationship, fulfillment, enrichment, attunement, offering, spiritual practice, adornment, family caring, hearts, healing, actions, karma, yoga, service, love in action. And I don't know why I feel the need to add, but orgasmic interaction. There we go, I said it. As you can see, there are many ways to describe the four powers. The important thing to remember is that you are innate within your being. You are embodied, and energy flows through you. You have a mind, and you are able to spend time devoting your life to something. These are the essences or the powers. They make up the minor arcana or mysteries of life. The major arcana are characters or forces that lead you higher and higher through each minor experience, helping you to live life more and more fully, more and more spiritually. Now, let me take a look and see. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 major arcana cards. We have Temperance. Number 14 is Blend. We have number 8, which is Strength, which is Healing. And we have, okay, where did you go? The Grandfathers, which is the Star, which is number 17. So let me read this little part again so you understand what these major cards are going to do. The major arcana are characters or forces that lead you through your higher and higher and higher through each minor experience, helping you live life more and more fully and more spiritually. The minor arcana or mysteries are forces that lead you. These are powers and let me stop. These are the essences of the powers. that they make up the minor arcana or mysteries of life. The important thing to remember is that they are innate within your being. You are embodied. An energy flows through you. You have a mind and are able to spend time devoting your life to something. These are the essences of the power. So, what Spirit wants to make clear in this is that you are the major and minor arcana. You have these forces within you. They were born with you. They were your gifts of incarnation. And you have a choice to devote yourself to learning your gifts, observing your gifts, developing your gifts, sharing your gifts. Again, I'm hearing these other waves. This is the receiving, transforming, transferring, and transmuting. These are the waves of conscious awareness, your gifts, your devotion to them, how you share them, how you keep them to yourself, what you do to align yourself with them. Or you can thoroughly dismiss, ignore, or reject the truth of yourself, those innate gifts, and let the mind imagine your identity for you. And you attach yourself and your devotion and worship to that which is outside of you, which is unnatural, which was made, man-made, mind-made. Okay. Threats to your powers. Let's get the worst out of the way. It is true that someone could take your life, abuse you sexually, give you a lobotomy, or make you a slave. These are the vilest of evils we can imagine. Every religion has strict taboos against acts that severely violate the personal space and consciousness of another human being. Yet, we have seen gross failures to adhere to these common principles. How do these failures come about? How can you protect yourself from such abuse? Both questions have the same answer. The way is cleared. To tolerate small abuses clears the way for greater abuses to occur. What you allow done to children manifests itself. It only gets bigger and bigger and bigger as that child matures. Hurt people hurt people. On the other hand, at any point, to grab the reins of power and begin to make your stand clears the way out, clears the way only for more of that power to manifest through you. So as you begin to clean out all the old programming, as one door closes, another opens. And you're able to take reign, and you're able to imagine and seed higher quality spiritual lessons to manifest for you, individually and collectively. In the Christian tradition, there are what are known as the 7 deadly sins, reinterpreted to fit our current word usage. The sins are as follows. 1, this is 1. Rape. Traditionally, this was called lust. But our current understanding of the essence of this sin is simply to want without regard to the wants of others. What is rape? To want without regard to the wants of others. Putin, Ukraine. Adult pedophiles, little children. I'm told to say colonizers. Rape. In modern language, this is rape. It is the death of respect for another and eventually for oneself. Say that again. In modern language, rape is the death of respect for another and eventually for oneself. That's karmic spiral. That's the rabbit hole. That's universal laws. What you do comes back to you. Sins of the father, so forth and so on. Number 2, greed. This means taking without giving anything in return or without regard to consequences. It is the death of generosity and cooperation. The Batman movie flashed before me as I read that. The greed that it was speaking of in renewal, the renewal project, and what was done, what spiraled out of control because of greed. Batman, Ratman, Rat without wings, the Falcon. So, 3, overconsumption. The traditional word for this poison is gluttony. We have come to identify the word with food, but in our industrial and technological consumer society, food is but one of the things overconsumed. The sin is in taking all resources and leaving none for future generations. It is the death of the planet. That came up in the first video, beloveds. The technology and how it was locked out of Facebook. And like I said, there is a thread, there's a common thread to this. All of this is spirit-led. It is the same message. It is just like the tarot cards. Each video is spreading it out piece by piece by piece so that spirit can show you that this is spirit-led. This isn't someone just going blah, 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 and this is not about the someone that's going blah, 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 blah. This is about the message. This is about the message. And are you receiving it? And you'll know the answer to that if your conscious awareness is expanded. It is the death of the planet. Look up. Four, arrogance or pride. Now, pride has a positive meaning in our language, but the sin to which it once referred was superiority and prejudice. The feeling that I deserve everything and you deserve nothing. It is the death of civil liberty and peace. What kills peace? Didn't I just say peace was the most beautiful thing to me? And how do you kill it? Arrogance and pride. Superiority and prejudice. How do you take my peace, my self-identity as peace, my self-knowing, my unconditional love for myself away by saying I'm unworthy of such peace. By saying, because you're this or that, you shouldn't have it, or you can never have it. You can never fully attain it. You may imitate it, but it'll never be yours. Superiority, prejudice, prejudgment. Boom, unworthy. Boom, it'll never be yours. Boom, not good enough. I judge you. Your peace is shattered. If you allow. If your mind feeds itself, if it consumes that energy, if it allows that energy to attach itself to its mental playground, if it allows that kind of consciousness to expand it, that kind of awareness, that negative to unpack it, to add to it, and it becomes more what? Negative. How did Legion become more Legion? More evil spirits attract more evil spirits, attract more evil spirits, attract more evil. We haul, honey, we haul. Roach Motel. You can enter, but you ain't getting out. Because I love me. Five. And 5 has been the vibration, frequency, number of the day with this fifth world, 5G, 5 frequency, 5 spectrum. Envy or covetousness. This is a desire for what others possess, while feeling a resentment that they possess it and you don't. A desire for what others possess, while feeling a resentment that they possess it and you don't. It is directing negativity towards those who appear happier and better off than oneself. It is the death of self-motivation and growth. Because of somebody else's envy and covetousness of your peace, they want you to stop expanding your conscious awareness, your conscious awareness of unconditional love for yourself and the depths of it and the healing that takes place when you go and rest within it. It's like I'm seeing some kind of chamber, hyperbaric chamber. Okay. That hyperbaric chamber is unconditional love. It seals all the negativity outside. The only thing inside that each of your cells and your body is breathing and bathing in and receiving is pure, unconditional love. And the light frequencies that come from that, and the vibrations and tones and music that flow from that state. That's what you're resting in. There's a lot to that to unpack, beloveds. I'll leave it to you. Whew, that was deep. Okay. 6, sloth or powerlessness. Though in today's frantic world, idleness may be considered a virtue, the sin that these words try to point out was that not of taking care of one's own basic needs. It is the idea that you should give to me so I don't have to work to get what I need. The rat with the cheese. Fat rat with the cheese. Got you doing all the work while it's eating all the cheese and getting fat. It is the death of personal responsibility. We are being called, spiritually called to personal responsibility, to not allow our personal responsibility to our individual selves and to our collective selves. To die. And in order to do that, we have to what? Wake up and take responsibility. And allow our conscious awareness to be nurtured and fed. And to rejuvenate in that unconditional love. And that means we have to have strict diets of bullshit. No bullshit. Sorry, can't indulge in the bullshit. Strictly no bullshit diet. Nope, can't do it. No lies, no bullshit. No white lies, no little lies, no big fantastic whopping lies. Just can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. And no, can't do it. And devote yourself to it. And beloveds, it sounds easy, but it's hard as hell. Because what are you battling? The mind. The mind is full of what? Desires. And it's going to make you smell things. It's going to make you remember things. It's going to make you crave things. It's going to make you desire things. It's going to make you ache for things. You can love yourself a little bit by giving us these things. See how it no. Vampiric. That mind is vampiric. Feed me some more. Feed me some more. Little shop of horrors, indeed. Whew. It is the death of personal responsibility. It is a complete lack of will, of personal power. It is the consciousness of victim, the sufferer. It is the death of the power of I will. Oh my God. Little Shop of Horrors. Steve Martin and the characters in that movie. Oh, blown. 7, murder or avarice. This is not simply killing, for we kill each time we swat a mosquito or weed the garden to use a tree to build a house. It is killing out of spite, hate, greed, gluttony, lust, or envy. It is the slaughter of the scapegoat for one's own deadly habits. It is the projection and attempt to kill the shadow of one's own failings. Batman, Batman, Robin, little world, little bird, tweet, 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 Rockin' Robin. It is the slaughter of the scapegoat, the Joker. The slaughter of the scapegoat. What was Joker's name before he became Joker? What was Riddler's name before he became Riddler? What was Penguin's name before he became Penguin? What was Two-Face's name before they became who they became? It is the slaughter. As soon as I said slaughter, the ewes, the female sheep, slaughter of you, sacrifice, self-sacrifice to become something, someone else. And the self that you sacrifice is the original self. It holds the original blueprint. It becomes, what did I say? That inner child. You sacrifice that inner child for this other identity of the Joker, of the Penguin, Two-Face, Catwoman. It cost you your inner child to be this, to appear as this, to indulge and devote yourself to the greed, to the envy, to the powerlessness, to the rape, to the overconsumption, to the arrogance, to the pride, to the murder. It costs you murder. This is not simply killing, for we kill each time we swat a mosquito, or weed the garden, or use a tree to build a house. It is killing out of spite, hate, greed, gluttony, lust, or envy. It is the slaughter of the scapegoat for one's own deadly habits. It is the projection and attempt to kill the shadow of one's own failing. It is the death of the life form. It is the extinction of the species. So we're so full of self-hate. We're trying to eradicate ourselves. That's why we lust after artificial intelligence to put our consciousness inside of, because we hate our bodies. We hate our biological bodies. We hate the shadows that are, we're more attached to that than to the spirit. We devote more time on the shadow and its vices than we do in disciplining the impulses, than having the patience of allowing and observing the unfolding, the blooming, the ascension, the natural procession of conscious awareness expanding itself as in existence as existence. It is the extinction of the species. And we're doing it by what? By choice. We're doing it, we're extinguishing ourselves. We're going into